very first speech is, and it's one where we get to know you. Some of you may have been wondering who Neil Grant is. Neil joined Toastmasters to master the craft of public speaking in preparation for major speeches that he plans on delivering in 2016 and onward. Today, Neil will share his icebreaker speech titled, The Next Adventure. The goal of this project is to give a glimpse into the life of Neil and his passion for seeking extraordinary adventure. 4 to 6 minutes, but there's no ding at the end. Sorry about that. Please join me in welcoming Neil Grant as he presents The Next Adventure.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and special guests, welcome. Here we were, making our way down the mountainside. As we went down, we were sliding between trees that were probably 10 feet apart. And some of the trees were totally covered in white snow. And the trees, they protected the snow from the wind. And this protection, it allowed the snow to stay light and fluffy on the top. Because if it gets wind blowing directly on it, it gets a hard crust on it. This light, fluffy snow is amazing for snowboarding. This is what we were doing on a snowboarding trip. As we made our way down the mountainside through the trees, because the trees were so well spaced out, we were able to cruise through the trees, going really quick, and it was an amazing adventure. The snow, it was probably, as we were going on our boards, it was probably knee deep, but if we were to step out of our bindings, it would be well above our waist, that deep. But it was so deep that as we went down the chute quickly, the snow was actually billowing up over the board and actually blinding me in some areas. It was so deep. This was awesome. And anyone who's ever been in the wilderness, whether they're alone or in a small group and you're way out in the middle of nowhere, you can imagine the silence that's in the air. There's really not much noise from anything else, but this silence was punctuated by hoots and hollers. We were and these hoots and hollers, they're a blend of function, because the guide told us that where he took us that day depended on how loud we were and how well we stuck together. Our group of 6, each person had a buddy, and it was their responsibility to make sure that person made it down to the bottom safely. But we were also having so much fun. It's fun to just hoot and holler at the same time. Now, as we made it to what seemed to be the bottom of the hill, it started to level out a little bit. We entered into a small meadow, a clearing in the forest, and it was an early morning, but so the sun actually was up, but because of the way that the trees were blocking the sunlight, it was a fairly dim setting inside there. But as we made it in, we saw our ride to the top. It was a Bell 407 helicopter, and it was waiting to give us a ride back up. So we weren't on an ordinary day up at the ski hill. We were on a heliboarding trip, and this was the most unbelievable adventure ever. So each run, you would go at the bottom, and a helicopter would be waiting for you to take you to a new peak, and you'd have these fresh tracks all the way to the bottom. It was absolutely amazing. Now, everyone, I think, has their own definition of adventure, but this is my adventure, and something that I love, these types of adventures. My passion for seeking adventure started at a young age. Growing up in Peachland, just south of here, we always seemed to be doing something, and it depended on the season, whether we were water skiing in the summer, dirt biking in the fall, skiing at Big White in the winter, or snowboarding. Anything with an ing at the end of it usually depended on the season we were doing. But I recall one trip that we did when I was 9. I don't know how this happened or how we were allowed to do this, but we loaded up our packs and got on our dirt bikes. My brother and our friends, no parents, rode our dirt bikes up into the forest with a rubber boat that we inflated when we got there and went fishing for the day. But again, no parents. I don't know why they let us, but I'm glad they did because it led to a pretty cool adventure for us. After high school, I moved to university, and where I went on to do my bachelor's in business administration degree. And I had the goal to be a pharmaceutical sales. And just before I graduated, I was approached by a company to see if I wanted to come work with them selling washing machines. This seemed right in line with my goal of pharmaceutical sales, so I said, let's do it. Now, 9 years later, I'm still working for that company. It's not your ordinary washing machine. It is 2,000 pounds. It costs about $50,000. And it helps recover people's items after they've been affected by a fire or a flood. So it's pretty incredible product, and something that I'm passionate about. So it's really exciting to get to do that. But probably the most important adventure that I get to do today is passing on this sense of adventure and the opportunity for adventure to my children. So I have a 6-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter. This past weekend, we had our first weekend of snowboarding up at the hill. So snowboarding and skiing. This is my son's 3rd season up at Big White, my daughter's 1st season. And this is, our most exciting adventure. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, thank you.